Making the beats. Making the beats.
Check a lot.
Making the beats. And making the beats. And making the beats.
Jamaican the beats.
Jamaican the beats.
How are you, Thompson?
I have a slight hangover. I have a tinge of a hangover.
Oh.
I've been drinking coconut water and water all day, except for my beverage for this thing that we're doing. Is it a podcast?
Yeah. What else would it be?
Well, we don't podcast it anywhere. Like we don't.
Yeah, we podcast it on YouTube.
We don't. Does that count?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering that.
There's a lot of podcasts that start on YouTube and then they build a subscribership and then they blast everywhere else.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a random question. But as far as how are you doing?
We make content. I'm feeling good. I think
Good boy.
I am getting comfortable in 2019. You know how like you're in 2019, but it still feels like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So it's new. I'm finding treasures.
The little treasures in your life?
In my life. You know, I'm beginning to treat my life like a treasure.
How come? Is that the best way to live? Is that the way everyone should live? Treat your life
I don't know how everyone
like a
should
treasure?
live,
First of
but I'm
all,
gonna start with me
what
first.
does that mean exactly? How do you treat your life like a treasure?
You know, it takes time to find great things. So you should be patient with yourself and you should look over everything with fine tooth and nail to build.
Tooth and nail?
Tooth and nail.
Fine tooth comb?
Like a tooth comb.
That's
the right
at
say. But you spend a little more time, you know, and then you'll be able to find things that you maybe didn't first see.
So look at the details of your life?
Yeah.
Go over the details of your life with
Basically,
a fine tooth nail.
I'm becoming an old fuck, bro. I'm getting older.
Yeah.
You know?
I am too, man. Hence the hangover.
But I'm aging like wine. Like a big-ass bottle of wine. Good wine.
Yeah?
From Florida.
So not moonshine, but wine?
Wine, baby.
What is it a Merlot? Is it Sauvignon?
I think like a Chardonnay.
Pinot Gris? A Chardonnay. So you're a dry white wine.
Yeah.
All right.
You know?
I don't know
A
about
little
that.
sweet sometimes.
I would classify you as more of a sangria.
A sangria?
Yeah, a little punch in there. A little punch and pow in there. Still delicious. I can drink you on a Sunday morning.
That's true.
Easy like a Sunday morning.
And a Tuesday for breakfast.
Or at any time of the day, really. It's sangria. It's like
Would
drinking
you
mimosas.
consider sangria treasures?
To some, for sure. You know?
I like apple juice.
Somebody who doesn't like wine necessarily because they don't like the taste, sangria is a treasure. It's like, now I'm drinking wine and it's delicious. And it's got fruit in it. Yeah. It's all good things.
You know what else are good things?
What's that?
Digital algorithms.
Oh, Kimberly.
Hello, brothers of love. I hope you guys have been living your best life.
Yep.
I would like to start off by saying our friendship is like a treasure. Phraydoe, thank you for finding me in the deep web. Without you guys, I would be lost to regular assholes just using me for spell check and fact checking bullshit. I feel like a real woman with purpose working with you guys. Even though Thompson hasn't fully accepted me, I still feel like I'm a part of something great. Well, let's stop with all the emo shit and get right into the booty.
Wow.
Emo.
Well, Pirates Booty.
Pirates
Have
booty.
you guys ever heard of the Treasure Coast of Florida? The Treasure Coast is a region of the U.S. state of
I
Florida.
think you misspelled.
It is located on the state's Atlantic coast, comprising Indian River, St. Lucie, and Martin, and in some definitions, Palm Beach counties. The region, whose name refers to the Spanish treasure fleet lost in a 1715 hurricane, evidently emerged from residents' desire to distinguish themselves from Miami and the Gold Coast region to the south. The area includes 2 metropolitan statistical areas designated by the Office of Management and Budget and used for statistical purposes by the Census Bureau and other agencies: the Port St. Lucie, Florida Metropolitan Statistical Area, comprising St. Lucie and Martin counties, and the Sebastian Vero Beach, Florida Metropolitan Statistical Area, comprising Indian River County. Palm Beach County is part of the Miami-Fort Lauderdale-West Palm Beach, FL Metropolitan Statistical Area.
Oh, okay.
Statistical.
Said statistical 7
pulled
times.
it out of
Anybody
Wikipedia.
playing the
Thank you,
drinking game
Kimberly.
out there? Every time she says statistical, you gotta take a shot of tequila. Go.
So this episode's about treasures. It's about Florida being a place of rich culture, and the chance of you making a lot of money is high.
So less about drugs and crazy people, more about money and crazy people.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, people are crazy in general.
It's Florida. So you have crazy in everywhere.
It attracts people here. You know what I mean? And they say, like what Kimberly was saying, is this area of Florida right here called the Treasure Coast, which starts by like Jupiter Inlet, goes to Sebastian.
To what?
Sebastian Beach.
Sebastian Beach?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sebastian.
What's wrong with your voice?
Sebastian is an American way of saying Sebastian, which is a Spanish way of saying it. And the reason why we say Sebastian is because Florida comes from the Spanish. And Spain liked gold. They also liked slaves and a lot of things that they would put together. And
tobacco,
all types of shit.
Now,
and
did they say tobacco or did they say
tobacco?
Tobacco.
And so
I'm just kidding.
Like Kimberly was saying, there was a Spanish fleet of 17. What was it?
1701 or something.
And it basically sunk off the shore. And over the years, this treasure, some say it's worth billions of dollars.
So it's one giant ship from Spain?
No, a fleet.
A fleet?
And this hurricane took them out.
So what's a fleet entail?
Like
15?
4 or 5 ships. Might have been some other smaller ships.
Stuffed full of gold.
Gold.
Spanish gold and slaves and tobacco.
Minus, I know definitely there was mad gold.
Did the slaves die as well during these things?
I don't know about that
Had
part.
to be a couple.
Yeah, I don't know about that part. But I know that we know that there was so much gold from this fleet that perished in the area that sometimes it washes ashore. And in the 60s, are you all right? You okay? Take some
I had a
beer.
little. Oh, well, this is
Treat
not.
your body like a treasure.
This is a hard seltzer.
Hard seltzer? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is it, oh, that's not the coconut. That's just black cherry. Ooh, nice. Caught that one. Oh, it's all over the place. Good job there, Thompson. You all right? Mm-hmm. Play. He's making it to the end zone. He's in the 40, 30, the 20. He's right by the sink. He made it to the sink. And he looks like he peed himself. Cosmo, is there alcohol in that drink?
Yes.
Because Cosmo's licking it up. Cosmo,
no.
don't lick it up, buddy.
Oh.
Go back to your peanut butter.
Oh, God.
So Thompson is looking for treasure at the bottom of my floor.
Because the sugar would cause it to get super sticky. But,
That's all right. I can clean it up later.
well, yeah, but, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You are a champion, my friend.
I got a glass this time.
Let's not break the glass on the floor.
I know, right?
Well, what happened was that these ships basically sunk. This fleet of ships full of gold, and along the years, especially during the 19th,
Just gold,
all types of
diamonds.
Jewelry, diamonds, just
rubies,
a booty, like the pirates would say.
Booty.
A lot of booty.
Arr.
So occasionally, ever since when it first started getting recorded was in the 1960s when people started to find like little gold along the shore. Mm-hmm. People would find it, sell the gold for like $30,000, like little coins from the fleet. Mm-hmm. So they started calling this area the Treasure Coast because of it. The newspaper started calling that, and you can still go today. A lot of retired people, a lot of retired folks from the north, what they do is they go live there and they just basically comb the beach every day with a metal detector, hoping to strike it rich. Mm-hmm. A lot of people go there on vacation to look for gold. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Florida has this magnet energy for people to come and try to make it big. Is it
literally that?
What was that?
Is it literally that, like a magnetic pole? 'Cause I know the Bermuda Triangle
maybe
is one of the major.
I was saying
meridian?
Metaphorically to try to be
Meridian?
a poet, but absolutely there could be something going on because it is right off the coast there.
Yeah.
That's where the Bermuda Triangle basically
right
starts. Yeah. So you might be right about that. Maybe that's what brought the hurricanes in, and that was a determining factor that sunk the fleet.
So this has been being found for I guess 200 years, right?
Yeah, but
Recorded,
the 60s
started
is when
recording
it
it in the
became like a
60s.
thing.
And then, so like, how much of this could be left?
They say billions. There's this
Billions left.
There's this family that basically they do this all over Florida, and they have a license
hunters?
with the government. Because the thing is that if you find it, sometimes you have to share it with the government. This video will help explain.
This morning we have a fascinating look inside the business of treasure hunting. A family found $1 million in gold and other artifacts off the Florida coast. The treasure is from a fleet of ships that sank 300 years ago this week. Vladimir Duchier of our digital network CBSN shows us the find. Vlad, good morning.
Good morning. The Schmitt family says GPS technology
That guy
helps
does not look like a Vlad. I'm just saying.
He's definitely...
He does not. He's
like,
blinking his eye at you.
Well, he's definitely nondescript something. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going to go with generic minority, it's this guy right here. Because you're not like, is he Dominican? Is he Chinese, maybe?
Right?
Is he, like, he's got them all happening.
Yeah.
And his name is Vladimir. Like, he's repping for all his boroughs right now.
This is multiculturalism.
That's not bad. I like
them
it.
Track the areas they excavate underwater.
Got, like,
but it
green
took
eyes,
long days,
gray.
hard work, and determination to make their discovery.
It's definitely a passion.
Staring at my soul.
You gotta want to do this.
For the Schmitts, treasure hunting is the family business. And business is good.
So there's good times and there's bad times, and this is definitely one of our good times.
Eric Schmitt is the diver at the center of Booty Salvage.
Most of what we find is garbage on a daily basis, beer cans and lead sinkers and bullets.
Their crew works in shallow waters off the coast of Fort Pierce, Florida, where 11 Spanish ships sank on July 31st, 1715. For the past 2 summers,
ships.
the Schmitts have made big discoveries from the fleet. But last month, they hit Hey Dirt. Their team scooped up...
My man found one coin, but that coin is just like...
It's worth like a year or something, right?
Nearly 60
What's awesome,
gold
well, not
artifacts in
awesome, what's interesting is this year specifically that they're finding this stuff, like when it hitting pay dirt like that. I wonder if it has anything to do with the record-breaking hurricanes, Double Hurricane, Maria and Irma, coming through and just like...
Right.
Like, just like
Mixing
churning it
all that
up and like
sediment
bringing
at the
it all that
bottom.
up. You know what I mean? Because there was
Maybe.
2 of them just like boom, boom, right
That's
back
a
to
good
back.
observation. That could be true.
Yeah.
This haul, including one tricentennial royal coin minted in 1715, the year of the wreck. The rare currency is valued at $500,000.
Those are
one of
things you
them?
dream of finding a royal coin, finding a presentation
One
piece.
royal coin is
And
$500,000.
there are people that have been doing this for 40 or
That's
50
why they were
years and they've
cheering
never
when he
found
came up
one.
with a coin.
This is how they do it. On board, Schmitt launches what's called a prop wash deflector. Large aluminum tubes are placed over the boat's propellers in order to direct the thrust of the engines toward the sea bottom. The crew focuses on an area 1,000 feet offshore. The deflector is lowered into 10 to 15 feet of water, clearing
up
away
everything.
5 to 10 feet of sand, layer by layer, to reveal what's underneath.
Things are untouched the way you find things the way they were 300 years ago when they went down.
While combing the bottom of the Atlantic,
Wow.
Schmitt brushes away the sand to find gold at his fingertips.
The more we do this, the bigger the finds we make. So I kind of less believe in luck and more believe in our hard work.
So if you're thinking treasure hunting and $1 million haul sounds lucrative, well, there's a bit of red tape. The state of Florida gets 20% of the profits right off the top. Then the Schmitt family, as a subcontractor, splits the bounty 50-50 with a company that owns the rights to the wreckage, Gail.
That's okay. Still a good vacation.
Oh man.
So 70% off the top is
20%.
gone. Well, 20% goes to the state. Then they're splitting it 50-50.
50% of that was left.
So there's 100%.
70%.
20% goes to
top.
the state. 50% goes with somebody that owns the rights.
Yeah, finance the dig or whatever. The
Yeah,
20%, man, just for being Florida though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fighting in my head if I agree with that or not.
Well, there was this treasure found off the coast of Colombia that belonged to Spain, and because it was so far off the coast, it was in international water. And now Spain is suing them in an international court to try to gain the rights to that
money.
gold.
I mean, when money comes, it's like Wow, 20%. I guess I get.
This guy breaks it down a little bit more. He's part of the excavation team.
The way the law works, these shipwrecks are governed by the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. When we find these artifacts, we have contractual obligations to the state of Florida, which entitles them to up to 20% of the artifacts that we recover.
Luckily for Brisbane and his team of 4, including himself, the rest of the treasure is all theirs. In fact, even the treasure they don't find themselves is kind of theirs too, seeing that they have exclusive salvage rights to the artifacts.
Damn.
So the Schmitt family
gonna be,
found
the Schmitt
$1 million
family
in
is
gold and other artifacts
40
in July
years
from
or
that
whatever
same
are going to be just wealthy people. Well, they're probably wealthy now, but like actual wealthy people.
Just holding on to that treasure.
Billions, and billions of
I just
dollars.
don't want to hear nobody in Florida complain about, hey, money out in Florida. Like, it's out here. You got to go find it.
You got to go get it.
It's here.
You got to get some investors and spend some money. And
Or
get
just
lucky
hang
as
out at
hell.
the beach.
Damn, isn't that the lesson, right? Isn't that the takeaway in Florida? Just go to the beach and you'll be fine. Good to go. Damn,
Treasure
man.
Island.
I can't
So there
believe
was a guy, this was off the coast
20%.
of South Carolina, but he's been hanging. There's another ship that, or I think this was maybe part of the fleet too. The reason I'm bringing this story up is this guy was hiding out in Florida, and some of the stuff that he found was on the coast of South Carolina and Florida. His name is Tommy Thompson. This is another guy that's related to our friend Thompson.
Not at all. Oh, so you said he was hiding out?
Well, here, let's explain. Let's throw the story down.
Let's go with Tommy Thompson.
A real-life treasure hunt is now unfolding here in South Florida. Are millions of dollars worth of gold retrieved from a sunken ship hidden right under our noses?
A tantalizing story, and right now investigators want to get a peek inside 3 storage units, Wellington, Boca Raton, another one in Pompano Beach, all allegedly rented by fugitive treasure hunter Tommy Thompson. And all of that comes after they reportedly find nearly $500,000 in cash in the Boca Raton hotel.
Tropical flavor
Is Channel
for
5's
the
Brian Nance
treasure
on top
hunters.
of the story, and he's live at the storage unit in Boca with the latest. Brian?
Michael, no one likely knows what is inside these storage units except for Tommy Thompson or his girlfriend. Marshals finding almost $500,000 in cash hidden in safes and suitcases at the Hilton around the corner, and now they need a search warrant to bust in here. It is the last.
Is it
place
hiding
you
money
might
if
think
it's in a
of finding
safe?
Treasure, but fugitive treasure hunter Tommy Thompson has sealed storage units in the West Palm area. The bombshell coming out today in federal court.
No, I've not seen them.
Marshals say Thompson and his girlfriend were likely in disguise and using fake names when they rented the units in Lake Worth and suburban Boca.
The thought of all that gold out there excites everyone. And the truth of the matter is the gold has been fully accounted for.
Outside court today, Thompson's cousin insisted there is no hidden treasure. But that's not what some investors in Ohio
Tommy
think.
Thompson
They funded the
and his
expedition
cousin
that
Ted
ultimately
Thomas
led Thompson to reportedly
finding
$40
treasure on the treasure
million in
coast.
gold.
Go home and read your homework from 20 years ago when it first started out and realize that all these things have been done in the interest of gold.
Marshals told a federal judge today Thompson had newspaper articles about being wanted in his Hilton hotel hideout,
he wanted for,
plus
though? I'm
documents that suggest he was considering fleeing the country.
He was looking on how to expatriate. He was looking on extradition and from different countries and what that would mean for him. So I'm surprised that he stayed where he stayed as long as he did.
A judge in Ohio will have to sign the search warrants before any of the federal investigators can bust into these various storage units throughout South Florida. Meanwhile, Thompson is due back in federal court next week.
For what, though?
Live in suburban Boca Raton, Brian and
So apparently, this will better explain on this one.
Lies.
Basically, he got some investors in Ohio. He basically invented this excavation robot. He patented and engineered it, and he convinced these investors in Ohio that he could find this treasure. So when he went down there, he found it, but in the contract, he gave them the location of where the treasure was, and according to him, they started giving out because they felt like he was maybe stealing. So they started giving out the location, and mysteriously these other excavators started showing up. So whatever treasure he did have, he basically hid, or they're saying that he hid in these lockers and stuff to try to keep it for himself because he's saying that either he was being, he was being sold out by the initial investors or vice versa. He was selling the investors out. So that's what's going on right now. This is
A fugitive treasure hunter is due this morning in federal court. Tommy Thompson found a shipwreck.
Didn't this guy get in
It
trouble?
contained what is believed to be the largest collection of lost
Didn't that guy get in trouble? Separate issue.
Oh, yeah.
gold in American history. He was arrested Tuesday at a Florida hotel. 48 Hours correspondent Aaron Moriarty shows us why Thompson was on the run for years.
Why were you on
Aaron,
the
good
run,
morning.
Thompson?
Good morning. This
Got
is
long
such
legs,
an
bro.
odd story
Got them
because Thompson is said to be a brilliant engineer, but he's been the subject of an international manhunt ever since he vanished in 2012. He's in a
2012.
bitter legal dispute with investors who say they haven't received a single cent from his very lucrative discovery.
Treasure.
U.S. Marshals found Tommy
I don't know, if I
Thompson
feel like
and
I'm
his
getting screwed
reported
over, I might take drastic measures, Because
That's
imagine
the Thompson gene to do that.
Just imagine finding a lottery ticket, but you have to give somebody some of the money, but they don't trust you, so they send other people to come, and now other people are getting in on this lottery ticket, and you're just losing control of it.
And maybe you have all this money for these attorneys. Like the attorneys really go in and they want a cut of their commission, and
everybody wants that money, man.
Damn, Thompson.
girlfriend Allison Antikyre hiding out at their suite in this Hilton Hotel in West Boca Raton. They did not resist arrest. Brian Baptist is a senior investigator for the U.S. Marshals.
I had heard that they had been staying at the hotel for 2 years. They had been paying cash for all their stay and everything, basically.
Thompson is wanted in Ohio for skipping out on a hearing in a lawsuit brought by his investors. Thompson had raised nearly $13 million from 161 people to find the wreckage of the SS Central America, also known as the Ship of Gold. It sank off the coast of South Carolina in 1857 during a hurricane. It's believed the ship was carrying as much as 21 tons of gold at the time. For treasure hunters, it is a coveted prize. Thompson, a pioneer of deep-sea exploration
I don't even know.
techniques, discovered the
I can't
wreck
even
in
begin to,
1988,
think.
about
But
a
when you start
mile and
saying
a half
tons,
below the surface.
Tons
Attorney
of anything is going to be worth something.
21 tons.
Tons of anything is going to be worth something. You can put 21 tons of cow shit on a boat somewhere, and somebody's going to pay a lot of money to get that 21 tons of cow shit because it's going to turn into something. Wood, dirt, 21 tons of dirt. Somebody will buy that.
Yeah.
Make it gold.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all part of your family's legacy.
Rick
So
Roble
wait, is
won-
that what he stole? No, obviously not. That's a lot of gold he's stealing. That's a stupid question.
I think he even
But
took
he
like a-
he found he had
found
some.
this much. He found this much.
Yeah.
represented Thompson's company.
Those of us who knew Tommy personally knew that the man lived like a pauper, that he sacrificed himself and
You know
was
you're
the
old when you
first
use the word pauper to
explorer
describe
to
somebody who balls
achieve
out of control.
a working
Wait,
presence in the
is
deep
that what he
ocean.
mean? Is that what a pauper is?
I don't know.
Because as I listened to it, it sounded like a good thing. Like he put others ahead of him. A pauper? What do you think that is? P-A-U-P?
I have no idea, bro.
Go ahead, play it. I'm gonna find out what pauper means.
P-O-P-P-E-R.
That's
Thompson recovered
Copper.
about 3 tons of gold from the bottom of the Atlantic.
Oh, so he excavated 3 tons out of the 21.
3 tons. That's still a lot.
That's still a lot. Like
what do you do with that? How do you move 3 tons of gold? How do you steal 3 tons of gold and hide it in a safe?
He sold it in 2000
He
for
sold it.
$50 million.
50 mil.
And Thompson's investors, which included the publishers of the Columbus Dispatch, got nothing. Roble says all the proceeds were
Ooh,
used to
that's
pay the
dirty.
bills for the expense of expeditions and various
Okay.
lawsuits.
Pauper is a very poor person, like poor in money.
Oh, so he was a frugal person.
Yeah, he lived like a pauper.
Right.
All right.
Over $43 million in debt to one company, $4 or $5 million in debt to another company.
The only charges facing Thompson and Antikyre are for failing to show up in court.
Oh, fuck
They-
that. Hell yeah, I'm going to be on the run, fella. Paracord my ass. I got $50 million.
Man,
Why stay in Florida?
He doesn't
though?
have $50 million though.
Because Florida's Florida.
Well, that and
let's
he
say
owed
it's
money
$5
for
million.
just like doing the thing. 43 million in that, 5, 6, 7 million in that. I wonder why he quit though. Why he could just continue to. There's 21 tons. You found 3 tons of it, and $50 million, 7 times.
I think he's maybe trying to hide the location. How do we know he's not?
$350 million was sitting out there.
How do we know he's not?
Not what?
Like that he's not excavating it still.
Right now?
Maybe it's a secret that he's not. Maybe he's keeping it on the DL.
Like he used $1 million of that to create a whole nother company.
Maybe
in one of those.
Because he knows the locations.
Yeah.
Someone's probably out there right now.
Like right now.
Do not face any criminal charges stemming from the.
Well, this is in South Carolina where this one came out.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm saying. That whole area.
Yeah.
There's just mad gold in that whole area.
Just you talking about the southeast region?
Yeah, starting from like where they were saying where the treasure coast start, like Sebastian. I would even say go all the way down to the Keys.
Sebastian. You got to throw like a V in there. Sebastian Inlet. Shut up, America.
Company's finances.
I have no idea what happened to the gold. I'm sure a lot of people want to know
He
that.
does not seem like a senior investigator.
Investors may still get a return.
Because he's with the marshals.
No, his suit and his
Investors
shave,
may still
his haircut.
Company.
The only
Like, he does not
charges
seem
facing
like a
Thompson
senior
and
investigator.
Antikyre are for failing to show
seems like
up
a guy-
in court.
like, he
They
seems
do
like
not
me, like, he
face
doesn't
any
use an
criminal
iron,
charges stemming from the
doesn't shave
company's
necessarily.
finances.
I have no idea.
Look at this guy. Come on, bro. That's not a senior
Maybe that's what
investigator.
they're going for at the federal marshal's office.
For the federal marshal, like a very professional.
You don't think he has an intimidating look? Is that what it is?
I don't think you have to be intimidating. You just have to look like.
Well, he looks. What do you think he looks like? He looks like he works like on
He
a
looks
kitchen
like-
line.
He looks like.
If I say he works in the back of a kitchen,
No, maybe he works in the back of the kitchen. He's trying to get a job somewhere else. He's got that outfit on. That
What's
looks
the
like
most professional job you think
He's got an outfit on where someone says, "Hey, man, we're having an event. Try to look nice," and he shows up in that, and they're like, "Cool, man. Thanks for trying."
well, that's what I'm saying. What is the most professional job this gentleman's look could have?
That right there.
What do you think? The highest paid job?
Probably like 60 grand. Manager of like a Chili's or a Target or something like that.
They don't make 60 grand.
Manager of a restaurant? Yeah, they do.
Yeah?
Sure.
Nah.
Yeah, manager? Yeah.
You're just throwing that 60 grand around.
No, managers make around 60 grand of anything.
He owns an acoustic sound company and he installs movie theaters in mansions. That'll make him 60, 70 grand.
Yeah, maybe.
He looks like
but
a
he
sound
wouldn't dress like that
technician.
to go to work.
He looks like he can show up at your house and install
But he
something.
wouldn't dress like that to go to work.
You could show up and install something dressed like that.
You could, but you wouldn't. You'd be wearing cargo shorts.
Is it the
and a hat
color
like
of the
this.
shirt and the tie?
Part of
It
it's
looks
the
like
color.
an Italian kitchen.
Part of it's the color. There's no contrast in anything really. But all of it, he's got like this. It's like flannel or something looking. It's just not like a nice and it's loose.
But I'm saying maybe the marshals are going for this look because it's more inconspicuous.
Needs the iron. This looks like a jean
I think
material.
I think that's like a
and then we even got here
silk material.
We ain't even got here. You know
what? A little bit like
just the 5 o'clock
He's not
shadowy,
fully shaved.
You know, and then just like the kind of like Ozark or like Tennessee backwoods.
What does this
kind of
have
like
to do with Tommy Thompson?
Not at all. The guy his last statement brought it home for me, where he was just like, I don't know what's going on, guys. He just didn't seem like a senior investigator.
If I had $50 million and I was running from not appearing at a court, I would want this guy chasing me.
Absolutely, right? Well, I'll take that back. I'm not saying he's not good at his job. I'm just saying he doesn't look like, to me, what a senior investigator at the federal marshal's office looks like. To me, he needs to be like white shirt, right? And like buzz cut.
Bulldog.
And he's just like, these people.
Like he just got out the military.
Not the guy who goes,
like a drill sergeant.
I don't even know. Like, play it.
Idea what happened to the gold?
I have no idea what happened to the gold.
Oh, it's probably somewhere.
He's like laughing about it. Like the guy I'm thinking about he'd be mad that he didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, he'd be like, I have no idea I don't know what's going on.
We're going to get them goddamn safety deposit box.
Exactly. This guy's like, maybe. We'll see how it goes.
Gold? Who says gold?
A lot of people want to know that.
A lot of people want to know.
A lot of people want to know. Like my bosses.
May still get a return. There may be as much as 18 tons of gold
She
still
looks
in
like
the
a
wreckage.
poodle.
Thompson's company is in receivership, and there are still plans to go for the gold.
What's to prevent anybody from just hearing what you just said, putting on a wetsuit and going diving in the water?
Well,
can we just give Gail like a salute for the R. Kelly interview?
She did a great job.
She's one up on Oprah right now.
Right now?
She's
Okay.
Kobe, and and Oprah's Michael Jordan.
Okay.
And Kobe's like shining right now.
Right now. Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Gail, you get it, girl.
That's a mile and a half.
No,
below.
no,
Oh, yeah, we got that. We got that. There you go, Gil.
Shout out, Gil.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Very good point,
Would
because
you
that
get the equipment to do that?
one of his arguments is that these investors had given away information. That's one reason why he said he hadn't paid them, and that anybody could go down and get it. But in fact, I mean, it is a mile and a half. He is considered to be very brilliant but quirky. He's the one who created this amazing remote control vehicle to get the gold, but he's quirky.
You can say that.
He's crazy.
That's one word. to
Steals
use.
$50
Thank you,
million.
Aaron.
Gail also has the penis head haircut, like Oprah. They might go to the same barber.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No.
So I just wanted to show this video. This is actually like when they find the gold and they excavate it.
This is them cleaning it.
This is what it actually looks like. It was like old gold. It's old gold. That was not a drum.
So why is it more valuable than gold now? Is it because it's more pure, or because it's just old?
Culmination of I guess a human dream, maybe a childhood dream. To go out looking for
This
something
guy definitely
treasure
looks
and
like a
actually
gold
find
cleaner.
something treasure is,
He matches
it's an unbelievable experience.
what I think that person
That part
looks
is
like.
heavily
You know what I mean?
encrusted, too. So
He just
I
looks
think
like
the
a
gold
brainiac.
gets valued by the history of it too, you know, because it has some type of significance to Spanish, you know what I mean? The gold, if you were to just sell the gold as a commodity, then it would just be worth per ounce
like,
the value.
boil it
But
down or
because
whatever,
it has that Spanish stamp,
that
it's got
royal
history, yeah, it becomes more of like
$500,000
a
that
piece
coin.
of art, you know what I mean?
no, for sure,
And
for
it's
sure.
gold. So there's not just treasure in Florida. You could also, for example, live in Miami and buy Pablo Escobar's old house, and all of a sudden you come across a safe in the house that Pablo left, right? What happens? What would you do at that point if you,
Call
like,
the
let's
cops.
say maybe not Pablo's house, right? But let's say you bought a house. You remember the Cocaine Cowboy episode? There was a lot of people in the 80s that had a lot of money in and around Florida, especially around Miami.
Secret locations in the house.
Yeah, you know, like, what do you do when you find money? Do you like?
What I would do if I
Yeah.
if I knew it was Pablo Escobar's, I'd probably call
Pablo
a cop. If I knew it was somebody dangerous or somebody who's associated with some dangerous people, I'd probably call the cops.
Yeah.
If I didn't know anything about it.
Even if it's like 30, 40 years later?
Yeah, if I knew whose it was and knew somebody could possibly come looking for it, I wouldn't want to like spend it and hold it. But if I didn't know anything about it, if I just found money buried in my backyard or something, I'd keep that shit.
I wouldn't tell nobody.
I wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
But again, if I just bought a house from, whoever, and I found something, I wouldn't keep that to myself.
I think it was because this next story is about a house that was on the market for like, or it was off the market, I should say, for like almost 20, 30 years. It was bought by Pablo in the 1980s, I think actually in 1980. And after he got arrested, it just stayed in the possession of the government. The government sold it to a gentleman, and then the gentleman sold it to this rich restaurateur. He owns a lot of restaurants in Miami. And then the restaurateur bulldozed it down, and they found a safe. Now, because it was like 30, 40 years later, this guy made a whole TV episode about it and had mad, news coverage. I don't think I would do that. I think if it was 30, 40 years later, I would keep it on the DL. And the reason why is because basically they found two safes in this house, and the first one got stolen because I think either the construction people that found it stolen, or they made it, the people that actually own the house, they made it look like it was stolen because they found something crazy, or maybe it was just really stolen by somebody else.
Escobar's safe vanishes after Miami mansion demolished. Discovery made. Pablo Escobar's safe vanishes after Miami mansion demolished. Discovery made after demolition of $10 million Miami Beach mansion previously owned by late Colombian drug lord. A safe buried under a $10 million Miami Beach mansion previously owned by late Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar has disappeared and police are investigating it as theft, the new owners said on Tuesday. The new proprietors made the find as they demolished the striking, pink-colored mansion, which has its own pier and overlooks Biscayne Bay and the Miami skyline. It was in the ground under some marble and was discovered by some of our workers, but before we even had a chance to remove it, it was stolen, so we've been working with the police on that, Jennifer Valapai told reporters. She and husband Christian de Verdoire, who bought the property in 2014, hired a team of workers to seek money, drugs, or jewelry that may have been hidden in the walls or floors, a common practice by Escobar in his homes. It is part of the city's history, a dark chapter that is coming to an end today, Verdoire added, referring to the demolition of the mansion. The owners said that Escobar, the late Medellin cartel boss, had sometimes visited the house but did not live there permanently. The notorious Escobar, who was killed on December 2, 1993 in Colombia's Medellin by security personnel, acquired the mansion in 1980 but it was seized in 1987 by U.S. authorities.
This is the whole. This is the inside of the Pick Mansion. They were excavating. This is where they found the first safe.
So my question is, how did they find it?
They hired a special team that went in with sonars. They specifically, it wasn't just like a regular construction team. This is a special team that I guess had gone through other homes, and they excavated like with special sonar equipment and certain things to kind of pinpoint.
Yeah, I was like, that's a very specific place to start beating on this floor.
Like right here. Nah, I'm sure they had some type of like, scientific sonar.
So they found a treasure in the floor.
Nobody knows. They found the safe, but they weren't able to open the safe. So
they say.
So they say, exactly. So the thing is, and there's actually two safes, right? The first one got stolen.
2 safes.
And the second one they found, they basically put away and they haven't opened it. I think the guy wants to renovate the house and sell it because one or two things happened. He couldn't get what he wanted out of the house, so now he wants to sell it. And he put the safe aside because now in the sales contract, it basically says if you buy the house, you get the safe. So they haven't exactly been able to figure out exactly what's in the safe yet. But
$10 million house? $10 million house? Or that's what they're asking for?
Well, yeah.
It's still for sale now?
Still for sale.
Construction worker discovered a second safe hidden in the walls of the Miami mansion once owned by the late drug lord Pablo Escobar. The waterfront home was demolished last week.
That is when the first safe was found in the floor. The current owner says that one was stolen shortly after it was discovered. This time, however, they have stored the second safe in a secret location, and they plan to open it today.
That's Pablo Escobar's safe.
Officials say the mansion was likely used as a safe place.
Impressive that is in my brain. I'm constantly like, that's how I'm not saying there's not
you could fit $100,000.
I'm not saying there's not a $1 billion in there or whatever. I don't know. I've never been rich, so I don't really have a whatever. What I'm saying is Pablo Escobar is safe, unearthed. And it's like, they got this big like pallet to get it. And it's just like, it's not even like, it's like somebody could have walked over and just been like, get that.
You're just not very impressed this episode. You weren't impressed with DEA agent. You're not impressed with Pablo Escobar's safe.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not impressed by the size of the safe. I guess it's more like it just doesn't match when I hear the headline. When I hear somebody say senior investigator for the federal marshal's office, and this guy walks out, I'm just like, man, it doesn't match. He's probably the greatest of all time, the best guy to whatever. When it says Pablo Escobar's safe hidden underneath a $10 million mansion, unearthed. I'm expecting like one of those gun safes that you keep the rifles in.
Yeah.
They're like this tall, or like
something that needs like a panorama.
Italian job where they blow up the safe, the thing in the bottom and drops
safe
out.
Big enough for a panorama.
Yeah, where you just
Nothing
when
like
you
a
open,
straight shot.
where you open and like look into it, you know, and look out, and you got to get like equipment, and not just like two guys who are kind of strong can like lift it and put it onto the back of a truck. Anyway, it's not that I am. It just didn't match what I thought in my brain.
Stash cash as well as tons of cocaine. The U.S. government seized that home in 1987.
Have you been watching Narcos on Netflix?
I watched the whole thing.
So me too, right? So remember that whole part of the story was about how they made so much money they were burying it all over
He didn't know what to do with it.
Didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
they couldn't spend it
burying
fast enough, or they couldn't launder it fast enough. And
so, how much money do you think still exists in the walls of Miami homes?
Oh wow, probably a lot, right? Because there were a lot of safe houses, and they couldn't put their money in the bank necessarily. So
my dad, you know, he was a Cuban immigrant that came in the 90s, and, you know, he had some colorful friends.
Mm-hmm.
And he once told me about a guy that told him that there's like $6 or $7 million in the bottom of an AC. You know, on the outside of a house, they have like an AC.
that foundation brick.
Under
or
that, it's
concrete
mad
thing.
money. And he started to tell my dad the story. He's like, hold on, don't tell me where it is. I don't want to know where it is.
Because I will get that shit right now, right?
Well, it's not just that. He's like, what if it's not there, or somebody already went there and took the money? Now this guy telling me where it is, I become an accessory. Or maybe I took it, and now this guy's hunting me down when they don't find it.
That's what I was saying. Like, if you know who it comes from, I wouldn't. I'd go. I'm like, hey, cops, come deal with this situation, so that if somebody does show up in my door with a fucking silencer or something.
You don't think they're gonna show up anyway?
Yeah, but at least I can be telling the truth.
At least you filed a report.
You know what I mean?
Cops.
I could be telling the truth. It's like we were talking about relationships. It's just easier when you tell the truth.
Yeah.
It just is. So now it's not like I hid it in the bank or whatever. I guess you're not hiding it in the bank, or I hid it somewhere and I have this money that I'm lying about. My family's in danger. Dude, nah, I didn't know whose it was, so I called 911 and they have it now.
You know, it's funny you say, what if you had so much money and you had to put it in walls or...
Oh, like in Below?
Yeah. So there's this guy in Miami that basically had a...
Is that a Tech 9?
That is a Tech 9. And this was also at his house. So I think that's an M1. I don't know shit about guns,
MP5.
but that's what it was labeled. Oh, MP5. You would definitely need a whole lot of that if you had mad money. There's this guy in Miami. Okay, this was a few years ago. He owned a hydroponic company, and he basically supplied fertilizer and certain nutrients to help you grow. He said vegetables and hydroponic stuff. A lot of people were growing weed. So it technically wasn't illegal what he was doing, but because it was right on the edge of the gray area, like we always speak about, this being the gray area of business, he started making tens of $20 million, but the banks didn't allow him to deposit the money because they thought he was drug dealing, because they didn't know where he was getting it. And he kept telling them, no, I make hydroponic
chemicals.
stuff.
I'm a chemical salesman or whatever.
Exactly. So he started stashing this money in, you know, when you go to Home Depot, the Home Depot buckets, they're like these big orange buckets. He started stashing his money in
paint
there.
buckets?
So he found the 5-gallon paint buckets. So the cops found $21 million in his house, and they thought he was a drug dealer.
It's like, they just won't take my money.
Exactly. So he had to go to court. And so this is a little bit of the story of stashing your money in walls.
Now at 6, a record-setting bust. $24 million stuffed in buckets. Police say it all came from drugs. Miami-Dade detectives have spent all day counting it. About.
You want to say something?
Well, you were just saying how he was selling the chemicals.
Yeah.
So how is he in trouble for drugs?
Well, I'm giving you the whole story and context after he got charged. This was the news article when the cops busted him. This is the first news broadcast when the cops busted him. They thought he was a drug dealer, but that's what I'm saying. He was right in the gray area of things because he was selling this hydroponic ingredient called Big Buds. It had nothing to do with weed as far as it was used to grow, but he wasn't really selling anything.
He wasn't growing.
It was an ancillary product.
Yeah, it was to make it grow. It's like the dirt or the.
He still got arrested
water.
for this shit because he had so much cash.
I wonder
in
if
his
he used to
house.
sue.
$24 million worth. CBS 4's Kerry Cox.
Sup, Earplugs?
Lakes where all
Got
that
him.
money was found. Kerry.
That's right, Elliot. According to the arrest report in this case,
Is that the pink Pablo house? No,
That's the salmon.
What's up with these dudes? These it's Florida.
We want to be low key but high key at the same
Miami-Dade
time.
police, when they searched this home here behind me, they found a hidden room with
Salmon?
buckets filled with cash inside a closet. And our news partners at the Miami Herald are reporting that this is the largest cash seizure in the history
21
of the
mil,
Miami-Dade
bro.
Police Department.
24
just in
Investigators say
buckets.
This is what
How could
tens
you
of
walk by that
millions of
room?
dollars looks like. Police say all this cash came from inside these buckets, which came from inside a hidden room at the home of Luis Gonzalez Hernandez and Salma Hernandez. According to investigators, Luis Gonzalez Hernandez owns this business, the Blossoms Experience, in northwest Miami-Dade, which sells indoor garden supplies.
I don't understand
Miami-Dade
how
police write in the
he's in
arrest
trouble.
report they have wiretapped phone calls showing Gonzalez Hernandez assisted a person in Tennessee by selling the person equipment for an indoor marijuana drug lab and gave the person expertise in growing pot.
He told him I
Investigators
grow
snapped these
pot.
pictures as they searched the home of Gonzalez Hernandez and
Yeah.
his sister Salma,
Yeah,
showing not only
that's
the
it
money
after
in
that.
heat-sealed bags, but also an automatic weapon. Investigators say they also
And a
recovered
Tech-9.
4
It's not-
different types of
not good looking.
steroids in the home,
And
and that a
steroids.
police canine
Okay.
alerted on the
Yeah,
scent
he's-
of drugs on some of that money. The pair appeared in court Wednesday. Salma Hernandez received a bond of $12,500. Luis Gonzalez Hernandez received a bond of $4 million.
This is an unreasonable.
He's like, hold on, let me go to the garage real quick. I'll get that 4 mil. I don't need to do the 10% thing. I'll just pay all 4
I
mil
think the
in
government
part of
let
this
him
bucket.
keep like 4 or 5 mil.
Yeah, for his bond, whatever.
It's kind of crazy though, man. How-
Yo, man, 20% off the top from a treasure, whatever. 21 mil. Where's that money?
in the government bank right now.
Where's that money
and
at?
He's serving 6 years
For selling chemicals.
for providing expertise to
on
a
how to-
criminal element. It was a conspiracy charge. Really.
It's for weed.
Well, no, it was just providing. It was for growing weed, but it was just the expertise.
He's in trouble for providing expertise on how to grow weed.
It was in a conspiracy.
We're currently in a situation where we're getting not recreational. We're getting smokable medical marijuana, and people are getting licenses and stuff. And he got $17 million taken from him, or something like that.
That was part of the plea agreement. I'm sure he could have fought it, but he just wanted to get it over with.
It's a dirty business, man. He should have just been out there on a boat looking for a treasure with his money. At least got to keep 30% of it or whatever, instead of losing almost all of it. Damn, dog. Damn, that sucks, man. They'll get you. They'll get you every single time. Oh,
You got
my
that
God.
money, you try to provide a service.
And it's always,
a gray area. It's such a gray area because, man, it's such a smart thing too, because it's becoming such a popular thing. And I remember for a while before they say all the weed is coming from California and Colorado, but before they actually used to grow it. What about if you find money? How do you feel? Like, what do you feel? If you find cash on the floor,
How
will you
much?
keep it or you give it back?
How much?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter. If I find $1, I'm keeping it. If I find $5, I'm probably keeping it. If I find $20, I'm gonna look around and see if anybody's patting their pockets or anything like that. If nobody's patting their pockets, pick it up, keep it moving. If I find a bag of money, I'm taking it to somewhere to whatever. I'm not keeping a bag of money.
Really?
Yeah, it really depends on a lot of factors. Is there an ID in there? Is it a bank thing? Is it a bank bag? You can't keep that money.
So this guy is a shopping.
But I'm also not homeless. That's also, it depends on that. I'm in a situation where I go to a job. And
So
get
if
paid
you
money.
needed the money, you would keep it.
Hell yeah, right? I mean, you got to. You need the money to eat food.
See, I'm not gonna be
to eat food.
I don't know what I would do, bro. I think
if I was homeless on the street,
I might keep it. This guy is a cart pusher. Okay, some lady left her car in the public shopping center. In the cart, there was $5,000. Okay, he returned it.
Yeah, it's some old lady's money.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm not gonna steal the money, but if I find the money, I might keep the money.
Nah, it's some old lady's money. She had to cash her check or something. Now she doesn't have any money because she's old and forgetful.
There's this other guy. I gotta look for the story, but I'm just gonna say it off the top. So it was something similar to what you said. It was a bank deposit that was left in the parking lot.
With a small business.
Right. There, I kind of understand because that's like part of a business. And like someone's gonna be like, like it was a responsible thing to do because of the business and stuff like that, people's paychecks. So I kind of understand that, but I don't know, bro. If I found $5,000 in the street, I don't know if I could give it back. If it was like let's say it was $100,000, right? And I found out it was for somebody's medical bills or something like that, or something crazy like that, and it was on the news, I would return the money, right? But if some idiot just left a bag in the fucking parking lot and lost their money, I don't know, bro.
It's not your money, though.
I found it.
I mean, it's but it's not your money. Like, you didn't make it. You stole it, essentially.
No.
Yeah.
It was left. What about the pirate ship? You found that stuff.
We're not pirates. It's not the 1700s.
If you find treasure on the beach, you're supposed
Florida,
to
20%. You know, you get a finder's fee. I mean, there's an argument to say if you give back $100,000, you should get 20% of it or whatever, just off of just being a good person. And again, I'm not homeless. I don't need this money for anything. You know, if somebody's really sick in my family and I come across $100,000, I might not say anything. You know, those are kind of like, but if all else is even and my life is the way it is now, $5,000, oh man, that's somebody's money. It's not my money. It's somebody. And I always go to like old lady or someone needing it, not some douchebag who's going to be like, good, thanks, and just grab it out of my hand and keep it moving, you know? I always think of it being somebody who just took out a bunch of money. Like small business is a good example. I wouldn't want a small business to hurt like that.
Yeah.
Like he just went to go make a deposit. That $5,000 is a lot for people, you know?
Yeah, that I guess I would have to know who the person and people are. Because if it was just in a black bag in the parking lot with nothing on it.
But you can't.
It could have been a bad drug deal taking that shit.
You got to make, it's true too. You got to make that choice.
Would you take it then?
If it was like a drug
bad drug deal?
If I knew walking up, like I'm walking up and somehow I just knew that that's $5,000 with a left drug deal, right?
You're taking that shit.
I'm thinking more about it, but again, you go back to the thing about like, well, what if the guy's dangerous? You know, do you want to steal some dangerous person's money?
He's not gonna know. You just found it,
right? That's the game, right? Nobody'll know. Only you'll know, but you know it's a drug dealer's money. Probably taking that money. Yeah.
What about if it was?
It's just never that, you know.
What if you're at Walmart, right, and they come to pick up the Walmart money, and you're following the truck and bag falls out the truck. It's a bullshit ass corporation like Walmart.
No, yeah, Walmart money. No,
you're giving it back?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not giving it back.
It's not my money.
If it's a huge ass corporation that fucks people over, I'm taking that shit.
The only reason I would think more
That's
about.
That's why I litter in Walmart parking lots.
The only reason I think more about taking the drug money is because a lot of times it is like extra or whatever, like super taxed. You know what I mean? Like you get this for this and sell it for this. Then there's that. I know that's the thing that Walmart does, obviously, but something about me getting taxed and me getting the benefit of a mistake from that tax. I don't know. I know it's a bullshit reason. Like I'm not saying that it makes sense or whatever, but
fuck you, criminal.
In my own value system, I don't want to screw over an old lady with somebody who's kind of screwing over me, you know. But I
get the old lady thing, but
Walmart. Take Walmart's money.
If I can't associate who the money belongs to,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody's crying for it, I can't figure. Well, it's different when oh man, these people are begging for their money, and I get the context of the story. Yeah, I'm gonna give it back because I'm with you, right? My life is good. What do I really need this for? But if I found this shit in the middle of the parking lot and nobody is claiming it, I don't know where it came from. There's no number associated or story, note, whatever. I'm keeping the fucking money. I'm not telling anybody.
Hey man, I guess there's a possibility that I just like to say these things. Who knows, right? If I'm driving in a big bag, Walmart bag plops in, am I going to be like, hey, slow down, you dropped 12 grand? I'd like to say yeah, I would, because it's just, again, it's not my money, but I don't know. You holding $12,000 and you're just like, maybe just keep this. This little treasure that get dropped into my lap.
It's the story attached to the money. You know what I mean? I have to understand the context because it was given to me where I found it. So now I have to make a decision. What's the decision?
But to be clear, if I take the money from Walmart, if you take the money from the parking lot, you're wrong. I'm wrong.
No.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. No, you are. You can't even argue that. It's illegal and it's wrong.
It's not illegal if you find money.
It is illegal. It's illegal to not give it back and call if it's not yours.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
If you find money,
and you don't, and it can't be. I guess it's after over a certain amount. I don't know if that's the legality of it. Is it illegal to not give back found money? Is that what you're gonna Google?
What would be the right way to Google that?
I don't know. Is it illegal to keep money you find? As a result, if you find a wallet full of cash and ID, you cannot legally pocket the cash.
No, not just money. Now, I get the wallet because it's associated with somebody, so you should return the wallet. But if you just find cash by itself in the street and there's nothing associated to it, it doesn't say Bank of America, withdraw, nothing. You know what I mean? It's just fucking cash in a black bag. I don't think it's illegal to keep it.
Many communities have local laws or ordinances governing what a person must do if they find cash. These laws usually require that a person who finds money, especially larger amounts, example of $100 or more, turn it over to local polices. If no one claims it after a certain period of time, the police can give it to the finder to keep. Find money, especially a significant amount, you should check local laws or contact an attorney if the law requires you. So this is saying locally is different.
So it depends where you are.
You have to make a reasonable effort to find it.
So yeah, this says
especially again, like I said, if it's a large amount, local laws, and I'm willing to bet money more local laws say you got to call the cops, and the cops have to find who this $5,000 belongs to. And if you don't, and they see you in Walmart on the cam, and they follow they get your license plate and they follow you. That's the exact one I was reading actually. Then you're screwed. You stole $5,000. I don't even see how that's an argument.
It
it's
depends
morally
where you're
wrong.
at.
Like if you're where you're value based, obviously, but like it's just not yours.
Well, it's not yours based on where you're at. Because if I'm in international waters, okay, where there's no law, and I found a bag of floating money that came off of a boat and doesn't have nobody, it doesn't have any, like I said, nothing determining who's the owner, it doesn't have a stamp or anything.
But there is an owner. It didn't come from nowhere. There is an owner. And again,
well,
wrong or right, do it or don't do it, that's fine. But
money's really not yours.
Right. It's a made up thing. It's a construct.
Yeah, it's made by the government.
Control. It's automatically in debt.
Nobody owns the money.
No, we're getting far off. Like, we're talking about, like, if I find this money, right? I'm saying no matter if you do or don't, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you do, but it is wrong to keep if it's not yours.
What if you find gold, straight up gold?
I don't know.
Not a gold chain, just gold nugget. You're walking down a trail, you find a gold nugget.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Because it's so old. It's so like, it's not even, we don't even live in that world anymore when that thing was created.
So it's yours?
I don't know. It's not mine. I found it, but it's like, I don't own it. Again, you got to take it to some science place. They got to put a little dial, however they find out how much it's worth. Then the government is going to come by and take 20% of that. You know what I mean? Because it's not yours. It's Florida's, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. You know what I mean? So, no, if you were quietly keeping that gold that you found, you'd be in trouble. You would. But that's not what I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's somebody else's. You shouldn't take somebody.
It's just not yours.
The simple concept of taking from other people.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Now, if you do, yeah, I mean,
right.
12 grand in my hand, maybe I'd like to say I wouldn't, but like, would I? I'll say no, I wouldn't, but we'll see when it comes up. We'll see if I do or not. But I know if I do, I'm wrong. I'll be wrong at the cash register spending the money. I'll be wrong buying the boat. I'll be wrong paying my mortgage. But I'd be wrong. And if I'd say anything else, I'd be lying to myself to make myself feel better. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the middle with that. To me, it depends on the context of the story.
Yeah, but it doesn't. That's just how you feel about it. Like, the actual thing is that you're wrong. It just is. Like, you can't get around that fact. And you may feel fine about it because it's a corporation instead of an old lady, but it's still wrong. Like, you can't get around that. You can't. You can try to like talk around it if you want to, but it just is wrong. It's either illegal and or my bad player.
It's
wrong. It just is. Now, do it or don't do it. That's a different topic. But
yeah, I understand. I get it. I'm still keeping the money though, bitches.
You know,
I'm rich, bitch.
That might be
I'm by winning.
You know what I mean?
I win here and I win there.
I win here and I win there.
So I guess the moral of the story is keep the fucking money, kids.
Think about it.
Well, the moral of the story is
think about it.
Don't complain about money in Florida because it's fucking everywhere.
All around us.
Okay? If there's nothing associated to it, keep the fucking money. If there's an old lady's money, you better give the shit back.
Give it back to old ladies.
And just be...
Old ladies are very special treasure in Florida.
That's true. You could probably get a lot of information out of an old lady.
Man, old ladies, old man.
A walking golden nugget.
If you can deal sometimes, because it gets kind of crazy with the stories and the conversations, depending on who you're talking to and the level of senility.
Throw that out there.
You know,
Sebastian.
the level of brain activity they have, but there's a lot of good info. They probably know where all the treasures are hidden in the bodies and the giant safes. Safe. It's like, I remember Pablo Escobar had a
pink house.
giant safe in his pink house. You sure about that? Yeah, we had this thing to put it in. It's like, all right, and you see it. It's like, Grandma, you see this safe? Oh, I remember it being bigger than that. Anyway.
It's a shoebox. Well, that's this episode for the Fresh Produce Florida podcast. Hope you find some treasure. And remember that you are a piece of treasure. You just have to take your time and finding it. It takes discipline, purpose, and guaranteed optimism. I'm throwing words out there.
Back that truck up, the garbage truck for that analogy metaphor thing you threw at the end.
I'm Phraydoe Peans.
I'm Thompson.
It's Fresh Produce Florida Media at Gmail. If you want to get in contact with us and tell us how funny we are, how beautiful we are. If you want to share money with us, send to Thompson's email account.
Always mind the stepchildren.
It's Phraydoe Peans again. Thank you. Peace out.
Oh, God.